Gemini, today the energy is rare. A door is opening that doesn't open often. What I'm sensing for you is a breakthrough, tangible, powerful, and already reaching toward you. Now, today's frequency is all about opportunity. This energy shows up when something in your path suddenly becomes accessible. It may be a message, maybe a person or a chance, maybe a shift in timing, or even a change in your own confidence. Look at that. You're stepping into a moment where your actions carry more weight than usual. Choices matter. Timing matters. And the universe has given you a direct path towards something you've been calling in. As your cards unfold, you'll see where this opening is, how to recognize it, and what kind of aligned action turns this from possibility into reality. Let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown, and we're going to set this down right over here with Jimbo, the Lizard King, aka Mr. Lizard, right there on top. Now, we're not going to look at that card until the very end. It will tie everything together, and it will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any moment during this message you feel like you might know what that card might be, put your prediction in the comments right below the video. Now, as we look around the room here, what do we see? Well, we see 1, 2 major arcana cards. We've got fire and fire, water and water, a little bit of air, yeah. And then we've got earth, earth, and earth. To me, it feels like the positioning of the earth cards is very important because it kind of creates this like equilateral triangle right here in the spread. And so it's kind of a larger, almost a macro past, present, and future. And I think that this 5 of Pentacles is the breakthrough because you can see the light at the end of the tunnel. You know that progress is coming. You know that there is gold on the other side of all of this effort. So this is the aligned action that you need to take and continue to take, okay? But what you're trying to do now is with this Princess of Wands, you're trying to stoke the fire. You're trying to protect the spark. See, this is a curiosity. This is exploration. I feel like you're a very enthusiastic person. I feel like when you get excited, it's like someone just lights a fire under you, and I think that it kind of like it takes up all of your time and energy. Like you just have this motivation about you, you know. I feel like you're a very enthusiastic person right now. Like you're very very ready to take risks, very open to new things, and very curious and very interested. I think that you're probably a pretty fun person to be around. Yeah. This is like a fresh impulse that's awakening in you. And you've got to follow it. You got to try something. You've got to protect the spark here. You don't want to put too much pressure on yourself. You don't want this fire to kind of burn out of control or burn too quickly and then fizzle out. But you also don't want to ignore this and let it die out. Right? So we do need to feed this fire. Yeah. You've got to be able to express whatever this deep desire is. This is you exploring something, not really needing a plan, but needing determination maybe commitment. Okay? You got to give yourself permission to want whatever this is. Follow that spark because it is leading somewhere. Okay? So I feel like you're this kind of curious, you're ready to dance with the tiger. You're ready to be the risk taker. Whether this is at home, at work, at school, it doesn't really matter. What matters is that you recognize this spark and you're willing to give it the attention that it deserves. And part of that is going to be through this Chariot card. Because this is your determination. This is your momentum. This is you kind of like getting behind the wheel of the car and controlling the direction here. Choosing the direction. This is you being focused and being driven. Right? driven by that. This is the fire of the car. This is that internal combustion. This is the energy of the car, you know. So you're going to pick up speed. You're going to gain momentum. You're going to choose the path, and you're going to go straight ahead. You're protecting that spark from any distractions. You see the charioteer is holding on to that Holy Grail, and it looks like there's that ball of fire right there in the middle, right? And that's the fire in your belly. You're protecting that. You're doing whatever it takes to sort of keep that fire going and encourage it to build up and to get stronger. Okay? So you're gaining momentum, you're protecting this energy from distractions. You need to be very disciplined. Your discipline's going to bring really fast results right now. Okay? And your will is going to be guiding these actions as you steer the car. And confidence, this curiosity, and this enthusiasm, and this interest, and this fire, and this spark. Okay? This spark is becoming a little flame, and that little flame is going to grow larger. This is your engine right now of this chariot. Okay? And the real victory is you mastering this energy. Staying directed. Okay? I feel like you're going to start moving very, very quickly here with this energy. Now, beneath the surface 3 of wands, we have virtue. This is allowing yourself to see that kind of bigger picture of life. This is confidence. This is integrity. This is an expansive vision of life. There's something inside of you that wants more out of life, that wants a bigger piece of the cosmic pie, you know. And I think that this is you being very honorable. Okay, you're very committed. I think that you do have confidence and integrity. You know the right thing to do, and you're willing to do it even though it is challenging. You're someone that has done the inner work, right? Now it's time to move outward and claim your space, claim your birthright, really, you know, claim your piece of the cosmic pie, moving outward. Choose actions that are in alignment with your deeper values. I think you're a very principled person. And I think that you have this energy right now that's saying, I will do whatever it takes as long as it's legal and ethical, right? As long as it doesn't violate any external regulations, but as long as it doesn't violate my principles. Otherwise, anything goes. You know, you have that kind of an attitude. This is a real work ethic. And it's a grounded confidence. It's not inflated. It's not this huge ego. It's a very strong, fortified ego. And a confidence that doesn't say, I'm going to win, no one can beat me. No, that's not confidence. That's arrogance. Confidence is saying, I'm going to do my best, and whatever happens, win or lose, I'm going to be okay, and I'm going to keep going. That is confidence, you know. You're following the path right now that feels noble, it feels clean, it feels right. That's how you're going to steer the car. Okay? You have self-respect, don't you? I think that you honor yourself, and you show a deep concern for not only for your sort of spiritual compass, but I think for the sovereignty of other people as well. I feel like you earn the respect of others, and you give respect to others too. And I think that is really, this is a wonderful quality. Okay. Integrity is, for you now, choosing what aligns with your spirit, not what pleases your ego. Okay? You're leading from your best self. And I think a lot of results are going to follow this energy. This is how you're steering the car. Okay? Now, behind you, we have this Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles, first of all, is thinking long term. You're not thinking just short term, what's going to feel good today, what's going to give me the most bang for my buck in the next, 10 minutes. You're thinking, what's going to lead me to mastery? What's my strategy? How am I going to lead this expedition of my life? You're using your responsibility You have strength. Okay? You don't want to be overly cautious. You're taking the risk, but it's a risk that you've seen the future. You've had the vision of your best life. See, the Knight of Pentacles is always looking at the Ten of Pentacles, seeing what is my long-term life that I'm after. Because once I have that vision, then I get that spark, I get that fire, I start stoking the fire. I let it grow, I encourage it to grow, I protect it from rain, I protect it from strong winds, that might put out the fire. And what are the rain and the winds? Water and air, cups and swords, emotions and thoughts. So that's exactly what we're doing with the Chariot here, is we are protecting the spark from getting extinguished by our emotions or getting extinguished by our doubts and our thoughts and all of that kind of thing. Okay? It's a really wonderful energy that you have here now. This is your patience. This is your strategy for the future. You're building slowly, but it's gaining. It's like it's a snowball, It's growing in speed and intensity and size. Okay. So you have this very practical wisdom about you, and I think that you're kind of I almost feel like this is a utilitarian type of energy, that it doesn't really matter what it looks like. What matters is if it works. And you're kind of like, you're having that vision of your long-term Ten of Pentacles, That's what really matters. And it's kind of like saying, I'm okay with getting dirty on my way to that goal. That's fine, I feel like this is you really like willing to get down in the mud, get in the trenches and do what you need to do what works. It doesn't matter how it looks, you see. This is reliable, okay? And this is prepared. And it's kind of like, in a way, it's saying that we can't really prepare when opportunity strikes. We don't have time to prepare. We either go for it or we don't. But I think that this is you like understanding what your long-term goal is, so that when opportunity does arrive, you can get that spark going quickly. Like the car's already packed and ready to go. As soon as the green light shows up, you're on it. Okay. So I feel like this is your long-term endurance type of energy. Yeah. Now, up above here, we've got the Strength card. This is your courage and bravery. This is a fortified ego. This is strength. This is stature. This is courage. It's not courage that needs to roar. We don't need to be loud just to be heard, Sometimes courage is just that quiet confidence, that steady confidence. Like the one that's really going to master this, the one that's really going to succeed, is not the one that's out there being all loud and all over the place and just like showing off and like all over, all over TV or whatever, like bragging. No, the one that's really going to do it is the one that you never hear about. The silent one in the back that's just, I don't have time for all that flashy stuff. I'm just trying to do it. I'm just trying to get it, This is that life force, and I feel like you are a very brave person. I feel like you are quite expressive, though, too. Yeah. You're moving toward what really feels alive. There's passion here. And passion is helping to sort of lead your action. You have this sort of hunger that is kind of the horsepower of the car, and it's driving you, and it's leading you. You're trusting your instincts. You're trusting your integrity, because these two, I think, are very closely connected. You're channeling your fire. You're channeling this desire, okay? And that's what strength is. Strength is your desire brought into conscious awareness. You're leading with this fire. You're being bold. You're taking up space. You're claiming your stature. You're letting yourself sort of stand tall and stand proud. but it's not in a arrogant kind of flashy way. You know? Just the right amount of ego, I think. And it does take courage, right? It takes a bravery to face something that is challenging and that we know is going to bring some ups and downs and twists and turns on the spiral road, you see. The emotional ups and downs and the physical or practical or logistical twists and turns of the road. The spiral road has both. Twists and turns and ups and downs, you see. So moving forward, I kind of feel like you're expecting a roller coaster. Okay? You're expecting there to be some disappointments, maybe. You're expecting there to be some waves of difficulty. You know, this is something that you're going to feel. Your emotions, like you feel every bump on the road. It's one of those kind of things, right? And that's okay. You're letting it move through you and away from you without turning it into identity. And that's the problem here. Because the Eight of Cups over here, this is you turning the ups and downs of life into identity. And then our fire starts to go out. This is right here, the fire's going out. So we're expecting it to be emotionally challenging and a little bit turbulent. We're expecting, if we're out on the sailboat, we're expecting there to be some waves. We'd be foolish not to expect waves on the ocean if we're sailing our boat. But that's not a reason not to go sailing. Okay? But if we don't expect the waves, and then we're out there sailing on our boat and we just think, oh, it's going to be a beautiful day, it's going to be perfect weather. When we get some waves, not only are we going to be, man, we got waves, we're going to be devastated by those waves. Maybe not even able to recover, right? So we know what to expect. We're prepared for the rainy day. Crossing our fingers we never get one, but more than likely we'll get one. So a disappointment is when we expect there to be something and it's not there. I'm disappointed. Okay? We don't want to avoid that. We want to feel that. If we're kind of hoping that something's going to come through for us, or that we're going to make the grade, or we're going to win, or we're going to have a good day, or that person's going to cooperate with us, or we're going to get the phone call back, or we're going to get the win, you know. And then we don't. That's okay. And it's okay to feel disappointment. It's okay to say, oh, come on, I hope they call, I hope they call. They didn't call. That sucks. It's okay to feel that sucky feeling. But we don't want to cling to it and hold on to it to where it becomes our identity, and then we end up giving up. Then we end up just getting so demotivated that we're not out there trying anymore. You're going to get thrown down on the mat sometimes. You're going to have a day that isn't perfect or isn't ideal. Okay? Focus on that fire that remains. Focus on that love that is still there. Okay? But we've got to feel this. If we don't feel this, it becomes rumination. And rumination is not good. Okay? So don't isolate. When we acknowledge this sadness, okay, it transforms. It becomes fuel for the fire. Feel it and release it when it shows up. If and when it shows up. Okay? We're not going to be blaming anybody. We're going to feel it. We're going to be honest about how we feel. We're not going to gloss over this. It's not a 4 of cups. It's a 5, and it's saying, look, I'm on the spiral road. Of course there's going to be ups and downs. If there weren't, we wouldn't need any of these other cards. All of these cards here are preparing you and really showing me that you are really aligned. Look at this fiery alignment here. You're perfectly aligned for the path in front of you to handle whatever this is. Now, I'd like you to subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. These readings are totally free. really does help us out. Your general energy is the 6 of discs. Success, flow, reciprocity, right? I feel like you're a very generous person, you know? I feel like whatever you have, you'll share with other people. I feel like you bring a lot of value to the table, and it's like you're going to a potluck. You're bringing a very tasty dish, and you're bringing enough for everybody. So you're not like ostracizing anybody else. You're not leaving anybody out. And therefore, you're not being left out. You're not being ostracized. I feel like right now you have a very powerful ability to work with other people. Now, I don't know if you're doing something in a group setting or if you're just like, you have this energy that like people want to cooperate with you. You go to the office building and everybody is just kind to you and you're kind to them. And you have this vibe where people are going to want you to succeed. People are going to want to push the paperwork through for you. You know, I think you have a very good attitude. I think you also, you want to see other people succeed. And I feel like they know that about you. I don't know if it's through the way you talk or just the way you carry yourself, but you really want other people to do well. Okay. And I feel that whatever you're doing in your life right now, you're good at it in the sense that you're contributing something very valuable to that industry or that genre. You know what I mean? And it doesn't mean that you're part of some industry or like anything like that, but it shows that you're here for a reason. And whatever you're doing is adding something of tremendous value to the universe. There's a good reason why you're here. And I feel like you know that. And your existence in this realm is so important. And it is so valuable. You know? And I also feel like you know that this is going to work. You have this, kind of have this inner certainty or this inner glow where it's just like, you know that the gold is, you know this is a gold mine. And it's just a matter of continuing to dig and you'll find it. So I feel like you can see the light at the end of the tunnel. You know it's there. Yeah. This is very often in another position of the spread, this is a payoff or a payout or some material relief, financial relief that's coming in. Okay? And I think that this is really you knowing that it's coming in. This is your general energy. You're attracting right now. You're in such alignment. I feel like there's got to be something astrological going on with you because I feel like all your planets are in alignment right now. And that is magnetizing you for this positive influx of support or revenue or cash or vital energy or strength or health, right? Something is coming in and it's sticking. And it could be money and it could be support. I think it's all of the above. Yeah. Now, in your environment, in your the position of your relationships, really, we've got the 2 of Swords. You must be very calm when you're dealing with other people right now in your life. Be open to compromise. Work toward a balance. Be calm. Be rational. Be passionate. You know, when you talk to people, whether it's at work, at home, at school, personal relationships, professional relationships, you can be passionate. You don't want to be detached or aloof. Be connected. Be passionate. But be calm, be reasonable, and be open to compromise. Do what it takes to build rapport with people. We do not want conflict right now. Okay? cooperate. Make cooperation the goal. Yeah. Slow your thinking down. Breathe. Don't react to people. Trust your intuition. Trust your integrity to make the right decisions. Two of Swords. Protect your peace. Okay? And I think that this is basically you, like I said earlier, you're willing to do whatever it takes, as long as it's legal and ethical, right? And whatever the third one might be. Aligned, maybe. Which means that you're very cooperative, okay? You're willing to say yes to people. You're willing to go with the flow because you've got that larger goal in mind always. Peace, right? Peace is the name of the card. And peace happens when we choose harmony over chaos. Let your calm demeanor kind of make the decisions right now, okay? Because what we're trying to avoid is that Eight of Cups. This is in the position of the obstacle. It's exhaustion or emotional burnout or rumination, okay? But I think you're a very honest person, and you're very self-aware. And if you start to feel this creep up on you a little bit, it's because we're too identified with our emotions, and those emotions then are affecting our interactions with other people. We don't want to be emotionally drained. If you do feel this creeping up, step back, rest, okay? You don't want to be like overexposed to this path to the point where it doesn't nourish you anymore. Okay? Because this is a card that is kind of a hopeless energy. When we get to this point, this is when you walk away. This is when the path feels empty. We don't want to get to this point. This is when we get here, it means we're forcing it. Because your heart's done. Okay? And this is when your soul has withdrawn. Okay? Your soul has withdrawn its energy from something because it doesn't matter to your soul anymore. And then we release this thing. So let's not get, that's why this is in this difficult position. This is the fear, the worry, the concern. We don't want to get here. Well, we want to hop, skip, and jump right over that. Which means it's very important that you understand the emotional roller coaster that you're on. And of course, the Chariot is the roller coaster car, you know. It's going to be up and down. There will be twists and turns. But I think there's excitement and there's desire. You know, when you have this Strength card, this is like a full-on passion. This is the opposite of this card. This is the opposite of that. So as long as you're still feeling this appetite, you're going to continue to do this path, and you're going to do it well. And just like these two cards are very connected, so are these two. These positions of the spread are very connected. Okay? Your choices and your integrity. And your long-term view. You know long-term is going to be successful. You got to go through the Five of Pentacles too. You got to go through the investment period. You got to roll the dice. You've got to spend money to make money. You know, this is that card of like, of sort of the outgo. Okay, this is a phase of perhaps stress. You know, if it's the twists and turns of the spiral road, it's kind of scary. It could be, you know, stress about money. This is like, you're going to have to brace yourself when we go through these periods, these fluctuations. Okay? Because this is the expenditure of time, effort, energy, money, and space. This is you putting in the work to chisel away at something to reach that breakthrough, to reach the gold. You see how there's that golden light underneath those pentacles. We're trying to reach that golden light. And until you hit that gold, it feels like you're just spending money. It feels like you're just spending calories. You're just burning energy. Okay? That's part of this path. We don't want to get turned around by that. The same with this, right? The emotional instability, the physical instability, are things we'll have to endure to get to that long-term success. Maybe a period of scarcity before the abundance. Okay? Things may get worse before they get better. Things may hurt a little bit more before we heal. Okay? This is the outgo, whereas this is like, I know it's coming in. I know that this is a worthwhile investment because I know it's going to bring me back a greater return on my investment. So I'm willing to invest. I'm willing to invest physically and emotionally, financially and spiritually. I'm investing in something. The 5, right? The 5-fingered hand. To me, with the cups and the pentacles, it's kind of like we are offering that out. You know, it's a hand that's full of resources, and we're saying, here, I'm putting that in. You got to put your quarter in the gumball machine if you want to get the gumball out. You know what I mean? And cross your fingers that the machine ain't broken. Most of the time, those machines don't even work. I don't even know if they still have those. Now everything's digital, I guess. But we have to have that outgo. We have to put the effort in. We have to put the emotions into it. We've got to give to this thing, the blood, sweat, and tears, you know. Mystery card, Empress. Yeah? Let's see. Let's see if that's going to be it. If you have a prediction, please put it in the comments. Well, it's a King of Wands. Very nice. This is, it is another Leo power card. I would watch the Leo reading if I were you. This is consistent, like, commitment. This is passion. This is motivation that does not fizzle out. This is a sustained effort over time. This is not just, I get this big burst of energy, it lasts me a day or two, and then I'm just spent. No, this is momentum. This is passion, and this is drive that keeps going. This is a vitality that is growing, a fire that it starts as a little spark. Now it's a steady fire. It's a steady fire that can handle a little rain and wind, you know, as long as we keep feeding it. Yeah. So this is really where it's at. Your desire has become action. You're moving boldly. You have momentum. And that momentum is your ally. The fire has grown larger. It can handle a little weather now. When it's a little spark, you don't want any rain or any wind. But once you got that fire going, a little bit of rain, not going to bother with. A little bit of wind, fire can handle it. As long as you keep feeding the beast. As long as you keep feeding that fire. All right. Now we're going to do the extended reading. If you want to stick around, there's a link in the corner. There's a link down below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you are the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.